Hey everyone, this is my introduction video. This is kind of weird because I'm talking to myself in the viewfinder. This is my first video. I found VC on YouTube about 5 days ago. I'm a huge music fan. I was a musician for 13 years. I've been a professional artist now for Warner Brothers for about 15 or 16 years. When I was a kid, art was my hobby and music was my life, and in my mid-20s, a friend of mine turned me on to comic books, and I ended up collecting them on tour while my band was on tour, and about a year later I got professional work, and I've been a professional comic book artist. Worked on Batman, a bunch of Wildstorm titles, if you know comics, and been really getting back into music the last 3 years. I started collecting guitars last year, just I'm kind of over listening to music on YouTube, and I wanted to get back to collecting music on vinyl, CD, cassette, the whole thing. So the last 2 weeks, I found a guy named 26 Bond on YouTube, and his videos really floored me. I just, man, talk about getting caught up in kind of your childhood and wanting to relive a lot of that stuff. But anyway, so a little bit about my collection. It's over there. It's kind of in a back closet in our bedroom. I've got some stuff in the garage, and then we've got another closet that has more of the records that we have in our house. My wife and I both are huge music fans. My collection is more 70s hard rock, punk, metal, but I also have my dad's record collection. He just gave it to me really a few weeks ago, total coincidence, but he had a lot of, again, early 70s hard rock, some of the folky stuff from the early 60s. My dad's not that much older than me, so as a kid, he was, when I was 8, my dad was probably 29 or 30, so he was pretty young. And I remember flipping through his album collection and seeing album covers like Houses of the Holy, and just being floored by the album cover art. Savoy Brown, Looking In was another one. You know, he took me to concerts when I was little. I remember going to see, I think my very first concert was Dire Straits on the Sultans of Swing tour. We saw them at a little theater here in San Diego. I saw the Outlaws, and then he took me to a couple concerts that we wanted to see. One was I saw Kiss in 1980, I want to say, on the Dynasty tour. And then we saw Ozzy right after Randy Rhoads died in 82. I think the concert in San Diego was June of 82, and Randy died in, I want to say, March or May. So Brad Gillis was playing guitar. Yeah, so not only do I have my collection, my wife's collection is here, which is really good if you're into Dead or Alive, Bauhaus, Peter Murphy. She's got a ton of that stuff. Some really, really cool records. You know, we were both huge Duran Duran fans, so we have, between the two of us, a huge 12-inch collection of all the singles that they were releasing back in the mid-80s. Hey, I'm feeling a little more comfortable. It's like talking about the music is actually kind of taking the edge off of doing this intro video. So I also, I grew up with my grandparents, because my dad was a young parent. He started having kind of, I think, some trouble. He was a Vietnam vet, and, you know, it was a tough time for him, I think, acclimating to getting back into society, basically. So I moved in with my grandparents, but I also have my grandfather's record collection. He was a huge music fan, so I've got some really, really interesting old Glass albums and weird, I don't know, I guess they'd be 78s that I need to go through. Let me see. So yeah, I'll show a couple of things that I've just picked up in the last week. It's mostly new stuff. I've been buying a lot of things on eBay, but these came this morning. I got Dio, Heaven and Hell. This was a suggestion from 26 Bond, and I haven't listened to it yet. It literally just came this morning, but I've been a huge Dio fan forever. I've seen him in concert 3 different times, or probably more than that, actually. The first time I saw him was on the Last in Line tour, then we saw him on Sacred Heart, Dream Evil, and probably Lock Up the Wolves too, and then I saw him want to say like 10 years ago. So anyway, I'm really excited to hear this. I've been a huge Sabbath fan, man, probably since I was 11 or 12. Saw him on the Mob Rules tour. I was 13 maybe. This was another one that I got. This is Iron Maiden, A Matter of Life and Death. Sorry, blanking out a little bit here. A friend of mine did the album cover art for this. Again, I'm a professional comic book artist. My friend Tim Bradstreet did the cover art for this. And boy, I got to tell you, you know, as a kid, even knowing a guy that did an album cover for Iron Maiden would be like a huge deal. But yeah, I've got some really interesting peers and friends, and even again from my band days. This was a long time ago though. Now you're talking like a little over 20 years ago. I was a singer in a band. We were signed to a label here in San Diego. We did 3 U.S. tours. Opened up for bands like Tool, Stone Temple Pilots, Mudhoney. And I got to meet a lot of interesting people back then too. So I've met Kurt Cobain and talked to him like one-on-one for probably 10 or 15 minutes at a sound check. My band was asked to open for them. And Eddie Vedder I've talked to on the phone years ago when he was still in a local band called Bad Radio. And I had an ad for looking for musicians. I was making kind of the switch from being a bass player to singing at the time, singing and playing guitar and like writing my own music. And he liked my influences and called me, and he's like, left a message. I got home that night, and I was like, man, what a nice guy. This guy leaves a message on my phone basically saying, hey, when you get your band together, you know, give me a call and I'll help you get shows. My name's Eddie. I thought he had said Vendor, so I wrote Eddie Vendor. I still have the phone number in my phone book, and I'm in a band called Bad Radio. When you get your band together, you know, give me a call. So I called him back actually that night and thanked him. I'd already been in a couple of like kind of successful bands playing bass, and you know, it was still really cool, and I appreciated the fact that he would reach out to another musician. And I think, you know, if you look at his trajectory and how he's handled his career, it's pretty consistent with making a phone call to a stranger and wanting to help them out. Let me see, kind of blanking out now. What else? Yeah, but anyway, but I mean, through comic books, I've got to meet a lot of bands now. Trent Reznor was trying to do a project through our company a couple of years ago. I work for Warner Brothers. I was a staff artist for them for about 12 years. I'm freelance now, but I still pretty much exclusively work for them. But they were going to do like a Year Zero comic book, and so they had talked to us about that. I've got to meet the guys in My Chemical Romance. Really, really cool guys. Linkin Park. And it's been really fun for me actually to see these bands, go to see them live, and then to actually watch the shows from the stage. Okay, like for a guy that was like still doing like van tours, not the Vans tour, but like touring the whole United States from San Diego to New York and back in like an Econoline van that we would run into the ground. Usually, I'm actually convinced there's no van that can drive from San Diego to New York and back and make it. You're going to be switching vehicles 9 times out of 10 somewhere. It just doesn't. You have 5 guys in a van and equipment, the thing is going to die. And but yeah, so I've got to see some concerts from the stage, like Linkin Park, like headlining the Coors Amphitheater here. It was literally me, my boss, his wife, and 2 of the guys from POD, which I kind of knew from playing in bands locally, but it was cool. Very interesting to see a huge band like that play like a sold-out show, you know, like literally right there with what they're seeing. It was really cool for me. But anyways, I got a lot of stories. Huge music fan. Most of my friends growing up weren't musicians. Weird enough. I mean, I met a lot of guys as I was in bands, but my like say 5 core friends, we were huge music fans. I mean, we would literally sit around, like you hear stories about like in the 30s where people would sit around the radio and just like kind of stare at it and listen to it. I mean, that's how my friends were. We were huge music fans, and it was like a form of storytelling to us. I mean, we would hang on every note like the guitar player would play and react to it. So, you know, again, big music fan. I'm going to keep it this short, kind of rambled. I hope, you know, the focus wasn't necessarily on vinyl today. I just bringing all this stuff in my office. My office is kind of like, I've got a bunch of reference books and art books, so I don't have a ton of space to bring like a shitload of vinyl in here, but I've got a few hundred albums I've brought in just over the last few days. I haven't had a chance to organize, but I want to do my intro video and kind of keep it, you know, real. And by real, I mean, you know, like I didn't want to wait like 5 months and do it and have it all planned out and everything organized. I think it might be kind of fun to see the evolution of my collecting. So anyway, again, huge music fan. I love the VC. You guys are really cool. I've watched a lot of clips. I've been watching most of the stuff in the living room at night on my PlayStation 3. The downside of that, well, the upside is I get to watch it on a huge TV. The downside is it's very difficult for me to reply. I would literally have to run into my office, sign into the computer, pull up the clip, because you can't reply when you watch YouTube on your PlayStation 3 for whatever reason. So it's kind of a bummer. But I've probably watched, I'd say maybe 15 to 20 different members' videos, and then I've, you know, I don't want to use the usernames because, like, most of them I probably wouldn't say them right, or, like, I don't remember them, like, totally off my head, but, you know, again, just because I like rock and metal, I actually have a pretty wide variety of taste. I'm always interested, I think, being an artist, I keep my feelers out for everything, so I've been watching everyone's videos, from the guys that are listening to jazz and pulling psychedelic music to, you know, whatever, the new wave, or, you know, like, I'm not going to use a bunch of, like, labels, but, anyway, so thanks, subscribe to my channel, I guess, maybe another week, I'll start organizing my stuff more, and I'll be able to pull stuff up. Let me see what else I got here just recently, though. I picked up, I actually got 2 copies of this. I got the original vinyl version of this, and then I got, like, the picture disc, like the new one. The picture disc actually sounds good. I have to say that the quality of the picture disc on Live After Death was not bad. This was a little muddy. The first side actually was probably the worst. Second side sounded better, but this was okay. It was just, you know, didn't have a lot of like noise to it, but it just was kind of sounded muffled. Still really, really cool album though. I liked it a lot. And what else did I pull out? Oh yeah, this is amazing. God, I don't know what they did when they remastered this thing. If like Gilmour sat down and literally went through the tracks and just like re-leveled everything. But oh my God, this sounds amazing. Like, this is kind of an album that it's like talking about Led Zeppelin 4, where, you know, it's been like explained to death. I think Billy Corgan said that in the Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage thing, where it's like some stuff has been over talked about. But this, oh my God, like I was hearing stuff in this album that I've never ever heard before, so I'm really curious to check out more of these, I guess, repressings of the Pink Floyd stuff. Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that for now. Thanks again for checking out the video. Please subscribe, like, I guess. I don't know, I'm just basically throwing out all this stuff I hear everyone say at the end of the videos. But thanks, and VC, I really am excited to have found you guys, and I look forward to participating in a lot of the stuff. All right, have a good day. My name's Rich. Not sure what username I'm going to use on YouTube, but it'll be on the clip. Okay, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.